Communism. Actually, no, communism's gay. We'll talk about that next time. If you're like me and you are at heart a somewhat sensitive guy, you probably rejected masculinity from a very young age. You associated it with all its external trappings, like beer, trucks, cars, guns, you weren't interested in any of that stuff. So you were like, okay, no, femininity is more where I'm at. But in reality, the people who made fun of you for liking feminine things, they didn't know what femininity and masculinity are. You probably are masculine at heart, and you do have masculine traits. You just don't know how to manifest them because you only pay attention to the external stuff. I will clarify all the confusion between what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman by the end of this video, if you give it your full undivided attention. There's this guy in my English class. God, I just said I wasn't gonna talk about gay stuff. There's this guy in my English class, and he speaks in a somewhat feminine way. Not like gay, but you know, it's hard to describe. He would speak normally one minute, yeah, I really think that's really interesting. And then the other minute he'd be like, oh yeah, that is really impressive. Not blatantly feminine, but kinda feminine vibes a bit. And I'm listening to Andrew Tate, I'm listening to Hamza, I'm listening to First Man, I'm listening to all these really masculine guys. And I think, this guy, I'm probably way more still and stoic and masculine than he is. I meet with him in the college cafeteria, and he tells me about some of the things that he's doing in his life, how he's studying, the clubs he's in, his girlfriend. When he's breaking all this down for me, I think, wow, he's actually a lot more accomplished than me. He's a lot more still and stoic than me. Even though he gives off somewhat feminine vibes, he's much more of a man than I am. If you're a femboy or a submissive man who has ever been ashamed of your femininity or your lack of masculinity, you probably listen to Andrew Tate and all those other guys thinking oh yeah, this is the way to be masculine, and smoke a cigar, have this type of clothing, have this type of car. None of that is actually what masculinity is. There's very few people who know what true masculinity is. Those are all the outer trappings. So what is masculinity? In one word, masculinity is stillness. Cars, guns, trucks, none of that is real masculinity in its essence. Those are the cultural trappings of masculinity. Each culture has different things for masculinity, but those change depending on the time and place. Even in our time period now, you just look at different cultures. Apparently, according to studies, different things are ranked differently on femininity by different races. Black people are less likely to see dancing as feminine. Hispanic and Italians are less likely to see cooking as feminine, and so on and so forth. It changes depending on the culture. So this shows you how fluid it is. The fact of the matter is, you can have someone who has all the external trappings of masculinity, but an inner femininity, and you can have someone who has all the external trappings of femininity, but an inner masculinity. It's this is a girl who does martial arts, likes action movies, but she's still feminine on the inside. Femininity is being, masculinity is doing. In the context of building muscle, the masculine part of building muscle is the weightlifting, the actual doing. The feminine part of building muscle is the sleep, the recovery, the rest days, the nutrition. Both are necessary to build muscle, because if you just lift weights without all the other proper stuff, you're not gonna build anything. And if you just do the other stuff, yeah, you'll be healthy, but you won't build muscle. Masculine is doing, it is goal-centered, it is goal-striving, it is accomplishing, it is detail-oriented, it is organized. The feminine is being, it's love, it's energy, it's flow, it's emotions. Notice how these words are a lot more vague, because specificity and logic are a lot less important to the feminine state. So how do you be more masculine? Just be more still. Regardless of whatever happens in the external world, be still. Greco-Roman Stoicism and Buddhism help a lot with this. I suggest you look into both of them. Particularly Greco-Roman Stoicism, because it's easier for a Westerner to understand and it's easier to get into. I recommend the Penguin Books edition of Discourses by Epictetus, or Seneca Letters on Ethics. It has a blue cover. Margaret or A.A. Long is the author. The Practicing Stoic by Ward Farnsworth is also good. These two philosophies teach you that externals do not matter. Externals are your health, your body, the world around you, your wealth, other people. These things are outside of your control, and remember the classic phrase, don't focus on what you can't control, focus only on what you can control. What can you control? Your reactions. Those are the only things you can control. Your reactions to your thoughts. You get an impression, oh, sex with a good-looking woman is good. No. What's the good thing? The good thing is your reactions. So how do you respond to that? No. The only good is in my resisting and focusing on my work. That is the good. The only good or bad lies in how you react to things. This allows you to be still in face of the ever-changing world. This is why characters like frickin' Sasuke and Aki from Naruto and Chainsaw Man, respectively, are so popular, and why they immediately come across as masculine. You remember when watching Naruto how all the girls ogle over Sasuke? It's because he's still. He's unchanging. It's not because he's emo and brooding and depressed. A lot of people get the wrong message and think it's that. And then they have a depressive phase in like middle school because they somehow subconsciously think it'll get them more girls. Like, no. Sasuke is not popular because he's depressed and like angsty. He's popular because he's still and controls himself, as opposed to Naruto, who's very emotional and all over the place. Same thing with Aki. Yeah, lots of people like Denji, but because he's funny. You are not gonna be like Denji if you let your emotions control you. You're gonna be like much more low quality. You're gonna be one of the background thugs who work for the Gun Devil or one of the antagonists. Your best bet is to be like Aki or Denji or Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Calm, still, focused, no matter what the outside world does to you. That is true masculinity. Remember, fortune favors the bold, so be bold. We're all gonna make it, boys. Ciao.